Hello everybody and welcome back. You probably don't know this, and you probably wouldn't know unless I actually told you right now, but the audio, at least my audio from my mic, was not going through while I was recording this. I must have muted it when I had taken it out to the other room to play Call of Duty, and I never turned it back on when I came back in. So, this entire audio that I'm recording right now is post this video being recorded, but that's okay. I guess that's okay, I suppose. Really wouldn't be missing out on a whole lot. The only difference is that when I'm commentating in game, or when I'm doing the live version of it, and I can sit down and talk about what's going on and what I'm doing in the game. At that moment in time, it makes it easier because I have something to actually talk about. But when I'm doing it this way here, it just seems kind of hard because I'm just going to end up talking about stuff that is not really as related to the game as it possibly could be. I guess what I can do though is talk about Diablo 3. So Diablo 3 is I don't know when it's scheduled to be released, but I was looking at it last night. Last night being the 1st or 2nd. Yes, yesterday was the 2nd of July. And yeah, no, I was looking at it, and a lot of the new features and stuff that they've added into it seem pretty interesting. Like, I think they're really following a format that's close to like World of Warcraft, in a sense that, you know, like, you're getting glyphs and runes, and like you level up and then you like put your points into your different trees. Like, they've always had that sort of way of going about their games. Like Diablo 1 was pretty much just like a free-for-all. You can learn whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as you can get the books and have the stats in the right, places to use it. And then Diablo 2 came out, and it was basically the same thing, except now you had trees. Like, you'd get 3 separate trees that you could go down. You could put points into anything that you wanted to, as long as like you had the prerequisites and stuff. So they did that, and then like in all the Warcraft games, it was kind of like that, sort of like your units could level up, I think, maybe. I didn't play a whole lot of the Warcraft games. I didn't really get into Warcraft until well after it was out, and it really wasn't even until World of Warcraft came out, or not even when it came out, but I think it was like 2007. I got into World of Warcraft and the Burning Crusade, and I was like, all right, this should be fun. And it was, and I still play World of Warcraft now. Like, it's an enjoyable game. But yeah, so Diablo 3, like, I think they're going with like the same sort of mechanic. But I was looking at like just some of the features that they had, like the rune stones and stuff, and how they make your spells do different effects and stuff. Like, I find that really like kind of interesting, and I think it'll have like a really big like influence on PvP and PvE as well. One of the things that I think that they should do with the PvP is make it so that it's more like World of Warcraft, in the sense that like you can earn points, and instead of those points just being like, oh, I have like 30 points in like PvP, and like I'm ranked 1337 or something like that. Oh, that was an accent, but that was elite. Yeah, so yeah, I think they should make it so that like the points are like another tier of experience, and you can like rank up that in that sense, and be like, okay, like you start out as like I don't know, like a vagrant level PvP, and it's just like it's purely cosmetic. But also they should make it so that the PvP points give you will have a similar effect to what they do in World of Warcraft, in the sense that they can allow you to purchase items or purchase PvP equipment and stuff. I guess that could possibly make the game like hard in a sense, but it might not. Like, it could add like a different level to the game or something like that. But like for me, PvP is really an important aspect to games. Like Diablo 2 really didn't have PvP, and at that time I really wasn't into PvP either. It wasn't until like I got World of Warcraft and I started getting into the PvP scene there that I really started getting interested in the whole aspect of fighting other players and, you know, getting good at stuff and whatnot. So from what I've seen of their videos and their screenshots and all that stuff, the PvP is going to be pretty solid. It's going to be actually like fun to sit down and, like, you know, take one of the 6 classes. I think there's 6, or maybe there's 5, or whatever. Any of the classes, and, like, you know, be able to excel in PvP. Like me personally, I really want to play a monk. Like I'm used to playing melee physical sort of like damage dealers and stuff. But and I'm really not that great with spellcasters and whatnot. So I feel like if I don't excel with the monk, like I'm probably gonna pick up the barbarian, because I know that I'll do well with the barbarian. I've always really done fairly decent with the barbarian. When Diablo 2 came out, like barbarian was the first place that I went to, and then well, at least when I got it for like the battle chest and whatnot, like I went to the barbarian first and I beat the game, and then I went to the druid. But as a druid I was a melee hell, what was it? It was like the feral melee, or whatever you want to call it. It was I was mostly into like the lycanthropy, or the, like, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The thing where you can change into a bear. And yeah, that was like my big thing. I really liked being able to change into werebear form and have like a huge health pool and do like an extreme amount of damage. The only thing was that, like, it was the only downfall that it really was to it was that, like, you know, you don't have the spells that like the other classes have. Like, you rely pretty much on just point and click, and then you hold down your click until the things are dead. There wasn't really anything to it where it was like, you know, with like a paladin, I can walk up and I can beat the skulls in on some guys, and then like cast Blessed Hammer or whatever, and then, like, you know, literally finish off an entire room of monsters. It was more so like, you know, if I wanted to, I could use Shockwave to stun guys for a very brief period of time, and then I could use like Fire Claws or something like that to increase my DPS even further. But regardless, like I said, I think like the melee classes is really where I'm at. And I feel like I don't want to start out with like axes, and like for me personally, like I'm really into like the big gold two-handed axes and stuff like that. But I really feel like when I get into this new game, or into Diablo 3, like I'm going to roll a monk, just because I think they're badass to begin with. Like, just some of the skills that they have, and, like, you know, the abilities that they can use are pretty impressive. So, and also because, like, I think the whole fist and spirit mechanic is pretty cool. So I'm probably gonna go with that. But no, like, this is the whole. They really overhauled the entire, like, Diablo sort of play style. Like, you can still see that, you know, it's still the same thing. Like, you know, you point and you click and you press buttons and you kill things, right? But I mean, what game isn't? But in a sense, it's more so like it's hard to explain, but they've really done a good job with it. Like, the only thing I'm kind of weary about is, like, you know, the fact that you don't get potions anymore. Unless you can pick up potions and you can bind them to your hotbar or whatever. But you get like 1 through 9 or something, or maybe it's only 1 to 8 of hotbars or hotkeys. I don't know if you can macro, or if you can bind any macros to, like, you know, do certain spells or anything like that. And I mean, just that alone, like, having actual, like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever, not 10, 0, but 1 to 0 as skills that you can use, as opposed to having them associated with either, like, you know, left mouse or right mouse really is like a huge step in the right direction. Like Diablo 2 was great. Like, I mean, it was a fun game, and using skills and spells and stuff was fairly easy. But in a sense, like, it was extremely limiting. Like, you really couldn't do a whole lot with it. You couldn't like be sitting there and be like, all right, I'm gonna cast Blessed Hammer 3 times, and then I'm going to use charge to get over to this guy, and then I'm going to because he'll be dead after I charge him. I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna fire off like 10 holy bolts back to like suppress any people that are chasing me, and then I'm going to charge back into this guy, and then use turn on my holy freeze, and then make sure nobody can get away, and then I'm just gonna spam like Blessed Hammer until they're dead. Like, essentially you could do that, but you'd be pressing like F1 through F5, and then you'd either be clicking left mouse button or right mouse button to try to activate those skills. With the new system that they have out, it makes it just a lot easier, that you can be like, all right, 1 2 3 4 5, I've just done all those things that I wanted to do without having to really like click a million times, or shuffle through my only 2 slots that I can put skills on and stuff. So yeah, that's great. But then again, like I said, it comes back to the whole like potion thing. Like they made it so that you can now pick up health packages, or like health globules, or whatever the hell they are. Just like by killing monsters, they'll randomly drop little health balls that'll, I can't remember if they do it if it's instant heal or if it's heal over time, but yeah, so it'll heal you that way. And I feel like that's a good idea in a sense, but I also like being able to be in control of when I heal myself. I like to be able to say like, all right, at 25% HP, I'm going to drop a heavy or a super healing potion and bring my health back up to full as fast as I can. But I feel like the way that they're doing it now with healing might restrict people that way, and it might make the game like either easier or more difficult. I don't know exactly. It could be, it's going to do one or the other. But I'm sure that they've tested it and worked through it and stuff like that. And they know exactly what the mechanics are and stuff. So that's going to be good. As well, they revamped the mercenary system, which is pretty impressive. Like, the mercenary system in this game was alright, I guess. Like, you really didn't get to do much. It was just like, you hire the guy, you put armor and weapons on him, and then, he goes to town doing what he wants to do. But in Diablo 3 now, it makes it so that, you can hire a mercenary, you can equip him with stuff, you can pick his skills, and I think you can assign his stats as well. But yeah, no, like in general, it just makes like that another like micromanagement sort of level to the game, where you can do that sort of character development on someone else other than just your main character guy. So yeah, like that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to tinkering around with. I think they gave you the spellcaster and the like rogue or whatever you want to call it, and the melee guy. Like, that was me pointing out that I had fire resistance. Out of all of the resistances that I had the highest fire resistance. But yeah, so it makes it so that like you can really like figure out like how you want your guys to play. Like, you can make it so that they can either be melee, physical, or whatever. But no, I think like the whole system that they've got working on so far is pretty great. I signed up, I hope, for the beta, and I hope I get in. But yeah, all right, have a good one, guys.